Hi, I'm Dr. Frank Springhob, and I'm a chiropractor from Port Angeles, Washington. And I've been in practice for about 40 years, and in that time I've treated approximately 400,000 individual patient visits. So I've had a lot of clinical experience, and my motivation through all these years has been how to deal with the person right in front of you and how to create the best health experience you can for that individual. And I've learned a few things in all those years, and that's what I'm here to tell you about. We're creating a new website to tell the world a story that really needs to be told. A story of the American diet, a story of sustainability problems and being able to have the food we need to nourish our body and to eat properly. And a story of how do you take these problems with our diet and our food and turn them around into a really healthy environment for the people and so they can grow their health. So what we found, and along with other people who have helped me on this journey, is that if you use the human energy field as a tool to ask questions about the body, from the body, what it would like, how would you create total health if you could do that? What we've learned is a field that is large and balanced all around the body, which we call the morphogenic field, will move people toward health, where if you have a small field or a distorted energy field, those people usually have health challenges. So what the field looks like is this. And you can see from this drawing that there are fields within fields. Energy fields of the body, liver fields, heart fields, but they all come together to make one big energy field around the body. Like I say, we call that the morphogenic field. And what America needs to know that they don't know is that using certain nutritional, herbal, and homeopathic tools, you can grow a large balanced field for just about anybody. So I want to talk to you a little bit today about what we've discovered and how I've practiced in my office over the years. So what we want is truly natural healing. Now, natural is a word that's being abused these days. For example, they will talk about natural raspberry flavoring, which is really corn that's been broken down to individual molecules and then reconstructed to taste like raspberries, and they can call it natural raspberry flavoring because it began as something natural corn. But my definition of natural is a little bit different. My definition is that it has to come from nature, and it has to be something that nature would provide without any influence from man or science to create something that nature would not normally do. So we want truly natural health care. We want health that grows from what nature originally planned for human environment. So there are 5 factors that I have used in my office for all the years to create health on the people that I have treated. So those factors include being able to control the integrity of the nervous system, and I do it through chiropractic. There's other techniques such as acupuncture to do that. I also do emotional work, so I address the emotional component in my practice. But as you can see, there's 3 more. Whole food nutrition to feed the cells, and we also like to look for properly recommended herbal formulations. And the last thing is specific homeopathy to create a healing signal to the body. So in the last 6 years, I've been teaching how to read the energy field, and what we do in morphogenic field technique is we teach those components, the nutrition component, the herbal component, and the homeopathy component. So when you're doing this, you need certain tools to expand and balance the energy field. So we have to draw on resources. And in my years in practice, I've learned to trust certain things that are truly natural. So the first thing that I always explain to people is that those 3 companies that we work with, Standard Process, MetaHerb, and Energetics, have fine supplements and remedies that you can depend upon to grow and balance an energy field. So we teach 2 types of classes. Class number 1 would be what we've taught for most of the last 6 years, which is our standard process and meta-herb nutritional and herbal classes. And now we are introducing the homeopathic component, and we use energetics homeopathy and related remedies. So you can use one or you can use the other, but what we really like to do is integrate all of our M-Field expansion tools for total health. And if you come to our classes, we'll show you how to do that. So with me today is Mary, and Mary has been my patient all of her life. I've known her all of her life, and I've treated 4 generations of Mary's family. So Mary's unusual in that Mary's going to have a larger and more balanced energy field than most. But what we want to do is demonstrate on Mary what a field looks like, and then show how we can introduce certain things into her environment and expand or contract her field doing that. So as you can see, if we measure her field, now this is a supplement for males, and obviously Mary's not a male. So if I bring this out and then bring it toward her, her arm will go weak. Now this is called a muscle response test. And her field naturally is out here about 5 feet away from her body. Okay, so one thing you need to understand is some of the things in our environment will contract that field. And we're being subjected to a lot of those things. So an example of that would be something like genetically modified sugar beets. And so Mary's going to hold this, and we're going to remeasure her field as she holds the energy of genetically modified sugar beets. And you can see her field is now contracted down from about 5 feet down to about 1 foot. So introducing this thing that we know to be toxic because it's genetically engineered and it's sprayed with pesticides and herbicides shrink her field. Now that is not good for her or anybody else who uses those products, in our opinion. Another thing that's going on these days is problems with the wheat, because they genetically engineered the wheat about 50 years ago, and now the wheat we are eating is not the wheat that we are intended to be eating. So everybody, when I was a child, people didn't have problems with wheat, but now everybody's got problems with wheat. Well, that's because they changed the wheat. So here's another factor that will destroy somebody's field. So we add that to Mary's field, and it shrinks it down even further. So adding all of these environmental factors together that people are being exposed to on a regular basis will create a smaller field. And a smaller field or an out of balance field will create symptoms ultimately. Conversely, if we can provide solutions and lifestyle changes to move that out of her system, we can grow her field again. So in checking, just for an example here is 2 of the remedies that we would use, and we're just going to show those to you a little bit later, but I want to show you that when she holds the solutions, we get her field back out here where it belongs, even though she's still holding the things that are poisonous to her body. And this is the way we look at it. Totally energetic. These are energies, and everything we say is energy. So we talk about wheat, but we don't test wheat. We test energy. We talk about sugar, but we don't test sugar. We test energy. These vials represent the energy of these things. So when you learn about morphogenic field technique, you'll learn that we have structured this in such a way that you can methodically go through and find out what kind of poisons Mary's affected by, or anybody else that you're testing, and find lifestyle changes and remedies to do that. So in our upcoming 2 more videos that we're going to be doing, we're going to talk, number 1, about how we use homeopathy to expand and balance the field, and those are the products and remedies of energetics. And then video number 3 is how we use the products of standard process and meta-herb in those seminars to also do the same thing. And what we do in the classes as you progress through is we show you how to integrate both product lines. So people will say, well, what about this line versus that line? Well, both of them are incredibly valuable, but the most valuable thing is if you do the best of all worlds, like I'm doing in my practice. take the things that we know expand and balance the field and utilize them to create better health in America, which is what we really need to do. We're moving down a very dangerous, unsustainable path with healthcare in this country. So thank you for listening. Watch video 2 and watch video 3 so you can learn about the energetics and the standard process lines to help expand and balance the field. So thank you.